Well, class 8, we are reading the lesson, the last lesson. In the last video, we saw that the author was scared of being scolded, not having prepared the lesson on participles. But when he entered the class, it was altogether a different scenario. टीचर भी बड़े प्यार से बोल रहे थे और लास्ट बेंचेस पे कुछ बुजुर्ग लोग बैठे थे। उनको बड़ी हैरानी हो रही थी कि क्लास में बुजुर्ग लोग क्यों। एंड वन थिंग मोर, द टीचर was dressed in a ceremonial dress, so it was all very strange. To know the fact, let's proceed further. In the next paragraph, the author says, while I was wondering about it all, Monsieur Hamel mounted his chair and in the same grave and gentle tone which he had used to me, said, "My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. The new master comes tomorrow. This is your last French lesson. I want you to be very attentive." What a thunderclap these words were to me. Oh, the wretches! That was what they had put up at the town hall. So, the author came to know about the news, about the crowd. Now he could guess why the crowd was gathered in front of the town hall. Now he could know what the news was. So, let's proceed further in the story. Further, the author says, my last French lesson, why? I hardly knew how to write. I should never learn any more. I must stop here then. Oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons, for seeking birds, eggs, for going sliding on the Saar. My books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, so heavy to carry. My grammar, my history of all saints were old friends now that I couldn't give up. And Monsieur Hamel too, the idea that he was going away, that I should never see him again, made me forget all about his ruler and how cranky he was. So, what a change! What a change! The author comes to know that today it is going to be the last lesson on French language, and the teacher whom he was scared, the teacher who always scolded him, today the author is scared of missing the teacher. He remembers his ruler, he remembers the teacher, and he remembers those heavy books which 5 minutes ago he was averse to carrying. Now he likes them like old friends. So this is the change of heart which the author finds himself in. Let's know the story further. In the next paragraph, poor man. It was in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes. Now I understood why the old man of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. It was because they were sorry too that they had not gone to school more. It was their way of thanking our master for the 40 years of faithful service and of showing their respect for the country that was theirs no more. Oh God. Here onwards, story becomes a bit sad. Now the author knows that the master who has been teaching in the same school for the last 40 years will not be teaching tomorrow onwards. The language which was being taught for so many years will not be taught. And he came to know why those old people from the village were sitting on the back benches. They wanted to thank the teacher. They wanted to say, it was our bad luck. We could not attend the school in our childhood. But we certainly want to thank you for your integrity, for all your devotion to the teaching process, to the learning process. So it was their way of saying thanks to the master. Let's know the story further. While I was thinking of all this, I heard my name called. It was my turn to recite. What would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participle all through, very loud and clear, without one mistake. But I got mixed up on the first words and stood there, holding on my desk, my heart beating and not daring to look up. I heard Monsieur Hamel say to me, I won't scold you, little Frizz. You must feel bad enough. See how it is. Every day we have said to ourselves, bah, I have plenty of time. I'll learn it tomorrow. So the scenario has changed altogether. The author now knows that it is going to be the last lesson. And just see what a change. The teacher doesn't scold today. The teacher talks to him very politely. He doesn't use the ruler today. And above all, the author wants to learn his lesson. He is repenting why he did not learn his lesson. So let's know the story further. And now, you see where we have come. That's the great trouble with Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow. Now those fellows out there will have the right to say to you, how is it? You pretend to be Frenchmen and you can neither speak nor write your own language. But you are not the worst, poor little friends. We have all a great deal of reproach ourselves with. Your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. They preferred to put you to work on a farm or at the mills so as to have little more money. And I have been to blame also. Have I not often sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons? And when I wanted to go fishing, did I not just give you a holiday? So there is lamenting everywhere. The teacher laments, the student laments. There is lamenting from teacher's side. He says, it was his mistake that he did not insist on the little prince learning his lessons more seriously. Instead, he kept telling him his personal work. Sometimes the boy was sent for watering the plants, and sometimes he was told to take a holiday. So the teacher laments today. Let's see the story further. Then, from one thing to another, Monsieur Hamel went on to talk of the French language, saying that it was the most beautiful language in the world, the clearest, the most logical, that we must guard it among us and never forget it. Because when people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. Then he opened a grammar, read us our lesson. I was amazed to see how well I understood it. All he said seemed so easy, so easy. I think too that I had never listened so carefully, and that he had never explained everything with so much patience. It seemed almost as if the poor man wanted to give us all he knew before going away and to put it all into our heads at one stroke. So today, when everyone knew that it is going to be the last lesson, the approach was different from the teacher as well as the students. इससे पहले जो स्टूडेंट्स पढ़ते नहीं थे, बार बार कहने के बावजूद आज वो पढ़ना चाहते हैं. वो टीचर जो उनको बहुत डांटा करते थे, आज वही टीचर उनको प्यार से पढ़ाना चाहते हैं. हाउ डिफरेंट द सिचुएशन वॉज, how different the classroom was. The teacher appeared to be a changed person. The students appeared to be changed. But everyone seemed to have a lot of patience because it was going to be the last lesson today. After the grammar, we had a lesson in writing. That day, Monsieur Hamel had new copies for us, written in a beautiful round hand. France, Alsace, France, Alsace. They looked like little flags floating everywhere in the schoolroom, hung from the road at the top of our desks. You ought to have seen how everyone set to work and how quiet it was. The only sound was scratching of pens over the paper. Once some beetles flew in, but nobody paid attention to them, not even the littlest ones, who walked right on tracing their fish hooks as if that was French too. On the roof, the pigeons cooed very low, and I thought to myself, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? तो बच्चों, आज का माहौल एक अलग तरह का माहौल था. अब बच्चों को भी पता है कि आज के बाद फ्रेंच नहीं पढ़ाई जाएगी. टीचर को भी पता है कि ये लास्ट लेसन होने वाला है, और इसके बाद तो दोनों तरफ माहौल थोड़ा गमगीन था. दोनों को पुरानी यादें आ रही थी. बच्चों को लगता था कि ये वही टीचर है जिनको हमने कितनी बार अनसुना किया। काश हमने अपने लेसन ध्यान से पढ़े होते। वही टीचर को लग रहा था ये वही बच्चे हैं जिनको मैंने कितनी बार डंडे से मारा होमवर्क ना करने के लिए। काश मैंने इनको प्यार से पढ़ाया होता। लेकिन आज पेन का अंडरलाइन करने की आवाज के अलावा कमरे में कोई दूसरी आवाज नहीं थी। ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे आज वो पूरा फ्रेंच एक ही दिन में पढ़ लेना चाहते हैं। और ऐसा लग रहा था कि जैसे टीचर भी लिटरेचर से लेकर के, ग्रामर से लेकर के, राइटिंग से लेकर के सब कुछ आज ही करा देना चाहते हैं। यहां तक कि छत पर जो पिजन्स बैठे थे आज वो भी बहुत ही लो वॉइस में आवाज कर रहे थे। ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे वो पिजन्स भी आज टीचर की बात ध्यान से सुन रहे हो। तभी ऑथर के मन में एक बात आई कि जिन्होंने ये आदेश पास किया है कि आज के बाद केवल जर्मन पढ़ाई जाएगी, क्या इन पिजन्स को भी अब वो जर्मन में बोलना सिखाएंगे? क्या इनको बोलने से रोक लेंगे? ऐसे कुछ भाव के साथ हम देखते हैं कहानी में आगे क्या होता है। Whenever I looked up from my writing, I saw Monsieur Hamel sitting motionless in his chair and gazing first at one thing, then at another, as if he wanted to fix in his mind just how everything looked in that little schoolroom. Fancy, for 40 years he had been there in the same place with his garden outside the window and his class in front of him, just like that. Only the desks, benches had been worn smooth. The walnut trees in the garden were taller, and the hope vine that he had planted himself twined about the windows to the roof. How it must have broken his heart to leave it all, poor man, to hear his sister moving about in the room above, packing their trunks, for they must have leave the country the next day. तो बच्चों, आज टीचर कभी एक डेस्क की तरफ देखते तो कभी दूसरे डेस्क की तरफ देखते। ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे वो उस कमरे की हर एक फोटो को अपने माइंड में एल्बम की तरह से फिक्स करके ले जाना चाहते हैं। आज सिनेरियो बदल चुकी थी, उनको देश छोड़ के जाना था। आदेश आ चुके थे कि आप अब इस देश में नहीं रह सकते। ऊपर, क्योंकि उस क्लासरूम के ऊपर उनका रहने का रूम था, तो पैकिंग उनकी सिस्टर जो कर रही थी उसकी आवाज नीचे आ रही थी। ऑथर कहते हैं जब हम बच्चों के मन में इतना सब चल रहा था तो उन टीचर को कैसा लग रहा होगा जिन्होंने 40 साल तक उस स्कूल में इतने डिवोशन के साथ पढ़ाया। आज उनको जाना था, आदेश आया था बर्लिन से, लेकिन क्या जाना इतना सहज रहा होगा? आइए देखते हैं आगे क्या होता है। But he had the courage to hear every lesson to the very last. After the writing, we had a lesson in history, and then the babies chanted their ba be bi bo bu. Down there at the back of the room, old Hosser had put on his spectacles and holding his primer in both hands, spelled the letters with them. You could see that he too was crying. His voice trembled with emotion, and it was so funny to hear him that we all wanted to laugh and cry. Ah, how well I remember it, the last lesson. तो जहां एक तरफ इस टीचर में बहुत हिम्मत थी, ऐसा लगता था हर बार कि जैसे अभी रो देंगे, लेकिन 40 साल का अनुभव था, रोए नहीं। ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे वो टूट चुके हैं, लेकिन इसके बावजूद उन्होंने अब कहा कि अभी तो हम छोटे बच्चों को 12 खड़ी और पढ़ाएंगे। जैसे आपने 12 खड़ी पढ़ी होगी, क का की कू कू, इसी तरह से फ्रेंच में भी 12 खड़ी पढ़ाई जाती है, मात्राओं के साथ उनको पढ़ाया जाता है, स्वर के साथ पढ़ाया जाता है। तो छोटे बच्चों को उन्होंने पढ़ाना शुरू किया, बा बे बी बू बू। तभी उसी समय गांव के वो लोग, वो बुजुर्ग लोग जो उस दिन क्लासरूम में पीछे आके बैठे थे, जो अपने बचपन में नहीं पढ़ पाए थे, उन्होंने साथ में मात्राएं बोलना शुरू कर दिया, जैसे कि वो कह रहे हो कि हमें पश्चाताप है कि हम बचपन में फ्रेंच नहीं पढ़ पाए, लेकिन आज हम फ्रेंच का एक लेसन सीखना चाहते हैं। उन्होंने बच्चों के साथ 12 खड़ी बोलना शुरू किया। तो जो सबसे बुजुर्ग व्यक्ति थे, वो चश्मा लगा करके बोल रहे थे, उनका गला भर आया, वो रोने लगे। और तभी बच्चे भी, जो पहले बुजुर्गों के बोलने पर हंस रहे थे, उनको भावुक देखकर बच्चे भी भावुक हो गए और बच्चों ने भी रोना शुरू कर दिया। इस तरह से कमरे का माहौल पूरा भावुक हो जाता है और हम देखते हैं कि आगे कहानी किस तरफ बढ़ती है। All at once the church clock struck 12. Then the Angelus, at the same moment, the trumpet of the Persian returning from drill sounded under our windows. Monsieur Hamel stood up, very pale, in his chair. I never saw him look so tall. My friends, said he, but something choked him. He could not go on. तो इस बीच बच्चों 12 बज गए। The clock struck 12. At the same time, the drill was over. The soldiers were passing by the school. उनके पैरों की आवाज विंडो में से क्लासरूम में सुनी जा सकती थी। आज पहली बार बच्चों ने देखा कि उनका टीचर घबराया हुआ है। उनके टीचर खड़े हो गए और खड़े होकर के उनके टीचर एकदम पीले पड़ गए। बच्चे बड़े हैरान थे। जो टीचर इतनी मास्टरी से क्लासरूम में पढ़ाते थे, कभी डांटते थे, कभी प्यार करते थे, आज इतना घबराए हुए थे। वो बोलना चाहते थे। He started saying I, but he could not speak beyond I. Something choked him and he could not speak. Let's know the story further. Then he turned to the blackboard, took a piece of chalk, and bearing on with all his might, he wrote as large as he could. Vive la France. These were the last words he wrote. Then he stopped and leaned his head against the wall, and without a word, he made a gesture to us with his hand. School is dismissed. You may go. So, this was the end of that day's class. The teacher was unable to speak. So he wrote 3 words on the board. The 3 words were Viva la France. इनका अर्थ है लॉन्ग लिव फ्रांस, फ्रांस सदा अमर रहे। क्योंकि आज फ्रांस पे दुश्मनों का कब्जा हो चुका था, इसीलिए ये टीचर बहुत भावुक था और he stopped then after writing these 3 words, and then he could not speak anything. He just waved his hand saying that the class is dismissed, the school is dismissed, and the students may go home. So this was the last lesson of the teacher. How did you like this? You may always ring up to me and tell me. It was really a fantastic lesson, and you should watch this video twice, read the text twice, and then answer my questions. I'll be sending you exercises. Thanks for joining.